This is a microphone test. It's a microphone test. It's a microphone test. This is a microphone test. You know what today it is? Today's the day we get to find out what's in the box. What's in the box? What's in the box? It's been killing me. It is killing me that I don't get to play with what's in the box until you get to find out what's in the box. So today, we're gonna find out what's in the box. It's a gift for me. This is the coolest wrapper ever. The bag alone is awesome. Really sturdy pillowcase. So I guess Amazon wrapped this and this is the way they do it. It's dilated to like a 9, but we're gonna push anyway. Push! I'm going to save that because that is really cool. It says DJI, whatever that could mean. Void if damaged. Damaged. So I'm going to be honest, I already knew what this was because I've already opened it up and looked at it. I've already pulled it out and charged the battery so I can fly this today. My wife bought me this for my birthday and it's really, really amazing and she's so wonderful. I almost wish she didn't because it was so expensive, but I'm kind of glad she did. I've been waiting for a couple of days and I'm too excited. I'm just going to tear right into this. So when you get it out of the box, it's got a cover to protect the gimbal, it's got a cover to protect the cover that protects the gimbal, and then it's got another cover in the back that holds the gimbal in place while it's being held by the cover and possibly the cover that covers the cover. On mine, I have 2 of the props on the bottom already attached, but I don't have any attached on the top. We're going to move the controller to the side. Inside this box, you got all the cables. I scared my dog. Sorry, Maggie. You got all these little adapters in here that plug your phone into the controller. The controller flips out like this and your phone fits in the bottom and you have all these different connectors. There's one right here and that plugs into this. Alternatively, you can use a tablet and they have different adapters that you can hold that in. Some of them actually fit in here, but those fit into the bottom. The antennas are sometimes hard to pull out when you first get it. You want to have them set up at a 45-degree angle just like this. By default, this is how you ascend, this is how you descend, this is, I think, your yaw where you turn side to side. This is to move forward, this is to move backward, and this is to strafe back and forth. I'm not entirely sure how to move the camera yet. I've heard that modes 2 and 3 let you swap the joysticks. That's probably what I'm going to do because first-person shooters. Under here's the instruction manuals. In the little cavity underneath where the drone is, you have these little bags. These little bags have your extra propellers and they also have enough propellers for the ones on top. And that's about that for this box. Yes, Maggie? She's wanting a walk. I don't blame her. So this is the Fly More combo from Mavic. It has extra batteries, it has a multi-port charger, extra propellers. You'll see. So this is the battery hub. This lets me plug in all the different batteries. It's a really cool box, but it's hard to get open. So that's the charger. So it's got 2 additional batteries and a car charger. Also extra props. And lastly, it's got the battery to power bank adapter. I don't really know what this is yet. You know, Maggie, I'm just barely opening my new tech and already I'm finding your hair inside. How is that even possible? So I'm gonna pull off the battery from the drone. Pinch. Maybe. So obviously this cable here plugs into a wall socket. It fits thusly into the power brick. And the power brick fits into the battery like this. But it also fits the other way around, so don't worry about that. To put it in the multi-charger, it fits into the slot here from the bottom, and then the cord feeds through this little channel. Now you have the charger all set up, you can take all your batteries and they just plug right on top. They will all charge, but they don't all charge simultaneously. It charges one and then it moves on to the next and then it moves on to the next. So they're not all going to be charged at the same time. Also, on one of these corners, here it is, there's a micro USB port. If you plug this into your computer, you can update the computer and every one of these batteries. I don't know what that does. It just updates their firmware, so I actually don't really know why, but whatever it takes to not make this thing crash, that's pretty awesome. The propellers come in this cool little bag, and you have two different kinds. Some have a white circle, some do not. If you notice this, one side has a white circle, the other one does not. There's three little forks on this guy, and they fit in, you push down, and then you turn it until it catches, and it locks in place. So that's how this all sets up. The front arms, they fold out from the sides. The bottom arms fold out from the bottom. There's not a lot of clearance underneath, but it's enough. Battery fits on top. And then before you fly it, you really do want to take this gimbal covering off so that it can move around, especially to get to the little stabilizer that holds the gimbal in place and keeps it from getting damaged. On the, yeesh. You okay, baby? On the port side of the drone, there's a hatch. Inside this hatch is the micro SD port, so you can update the firmware and possibly to be able to get your images off the SD card. On the starboard side, there's another hatch, and this is where you have your micro SD card. Also, there's a switch to swap it between Wi-Fi mode and RC mode. When you're flying outside, I believe you always want to keep it in RC mode. When you're flying it inside, and yes, you can fly this inside, you want to keep it on Wi-Fi mode. A couple of quick details about this drone. It measures 3¼ inches by 3¼ inches and 7.8 inches long. When it's extended, minus the props, diagonally it measures a little over 13 inches. It weighs a little over 1.5 pounds. A half a pound of that is actually the battery. The ascent speed maxes out at about 16.5 feet per second. The max speed in sport mode is 40 miles an hour. It can fly 16,404 feet above sea level. It can fly between 21 and 27 minutes. That's without any wind, but I would really expect a little bit less than that. Its max flight distance is 8 miles, but I don't think you can make a return trip in that. That's a one-way ticket. Operating temperatures go from 32 degrees, that's freezing, all the way up to 104, which is about as hot as it feels right now. It has GPS satellite positioning, and so it stays pretty good. It can come back to its home base and land, and it's got stats for how far it drifts depending on different situations. I do know that when you take off, you want to raise it up to about 30 some odd feet in the air before you take off. That way those sensors on the bottom can get a good idea of where it took off from, and it can be sure to land within a couple of inches of where it took off from. If you only ascend about 10 feet and then take off, it doesn't really get a very good image, and so it's usually off by about 10 feet. That could be problematic, so be careful. It takes still photos, it takes video, its resolution is all the way up to, I think, 4K, but I know it definitely does 1080p. It takes pictures in JPEG, DNG, it takes videos in MOV, MP4s. Oh yeah, it takes a micro SD card, and the maximum capacity for that is 64 gigs, and it's a class 10, I believe. And speaking of which, mine actually came with one, but it's only a 16 gig. And I think this might be a class 3. It's not that great, but it gets you started. Nothing's worse than getting a new toy but not having the batteries. Man, there are so many other stats and so many other things, but I really just want to fly this thing.
Maximum flight altitude reached.